Censorship is a noun. It is the practice of officially examining books, movies, and etc., and suppressing unacceptable parts.
That's really funny.
I know.
Why are they censoring it though?
I don't know. Maybe because they have something they don't want us to know or show. There might be little kids around, so.
But aren't they going to learn about it sooner or later? I mean, they play things that involve violence.
I mean, yeah, but it can affect them, like they don't know about this and they don't have the education about these certain topics, so they will be confused and will not know what this means.
But how is this going to hurt them? I mean, they learn more about violence, but we're watching something that involves some nudity. It doesn't really matter, does it?
I think that comes out to what the people consider to be right or wrong.
But who decides that?
I don't know. I think mostly parents and the government. But I think it's just because they don't want us to know certain things.
True. But why wouldn't they want us to know about these things?
Good question. And that is how we came up with our knowledge issues, which is to what extent do the ethics of a culture affect the knowledge that we acquire? There are 3 points of view about censorship: the enforcers, the supporters, and those who oppose.
Now let's start talking about the enforcers in a society. We have the government. The government has power over a large group of people and prevents citizens from obtaining certain information. They also have the power to ban certain things in the media, such as internet articles and films, which include shows, movies, and commercials. And they can also ban anything that deals with audio and books. And also, depending on what part of the world you live in and the type of government in that area, the power of censorship will differentiate.
So, for example, we have China and the Netherlands. China's culture is very strict about censorship. Like, for example, whenever a person in China goes for the Tiananmen Square, nothing will show up, so there is no information about it. However, in Netherlands, if they want to search for the same thing, the Tiananmen Square, the information will appear because they're less strict about their censorship laws. Now, in China, it's a communist country, and the Netherlands has a constitutional monarchy. And even though they have a monarchy, their undeniable rights are still protected, and they have freedom of speech, and they can access to all the information, and they're more liberal.
Now let's look at the parents. Parents have authority over a group. They prevent children from obtaining certain information that is too inappropriate for certain ages. Let's look at the example of an Islamic father versus an agnostic father. An Islamic father is more like China. He is more strict about censorship and the information that his child will obtain, while an agnostic father is more like the Netherlands and is more lenient about censorship and will allow his child to obtain more information or any other type of information an Islamic father might not allow his child to obtain. We personally know an adult who does not allow their 12-year-old child to watch PG-13 movies because they believe that it shows things that are too intense and too inappropriate for their child. On the other hand, we know another adult that allows their 10-year-old child to watch R-rated movies because they believe that it's natural for their child to see those kinds of things in R-rated movies now because they might see it later on anyways. And so they think it's natural for them to ask questions and answer their questions if they have any.
So one can say that the government and the parents are similar because they have power over a group of people. They don't have to be a large group because, like some families that are small, there's populations that are really small too. They do not allow the audience or the group of people to obtain certain information because they have um, thoughts about them that they will hurt the population or hurt their kids. Okay, so now let's look at our second point of view, which is the supporters. Our first supporter is the FCC, or Federal Communications Commission, which is the commission that is in charge of censorship here in America. On the FCC website, it says that their primary mission is to ensure continuous operations and restore critical communication systems and services. Reliable, effective communications are critical whenever life or property are in danger. They help to ensure that public safety officials have access to the spectrum that they need, and citizens have access to life-saving emergency networks from communication devices. So they are saying that they will protect the citizens from not seeing inappropriate messages or being exposed to things that can affect their psychological state. So the main point of all the supporters is that the censorship is good because it stops the showcasing of inappropriate images or audio. Like for example, in music, whenever there's an explicit word, there's bleeping, or they will change the word so it is not heard by everybody, and so the kids won't hear it and won't learn it, and they will be good. I don't know how to. Also, they believe that censorship has become a second nature because it's been going on for so long that there's no point of going back and censoring or removing laws that have been already made to prevent this indecency from propagating.
Lastly, we have those who oppose. They believe that censorship limits their knowledge, and they also question censorship. They ask, is it really necessary? There are organizations such as the National Coalition Against Censorship, or the NCAC. They provide educational resources and are advocates that support individuals and organizations responding to incidents of censorship. They also educate and empower the public to fight against censorship. They document and report on current censorship issues, and they also expand the public's awareness of the prevalence of censorship and suppression of information. They also work to influence judicial opinions about free expression and access to information by submitting amici briefs. So basically, the NCAC is obviously against censorship, and they want the public to obtain any information that organizations such as the FCC limit and censor. They want to make sure that the public's knowledge isn't limited, and they want to make sure that the public gets as much information as they can so that they can expand their knowledge. The NCAC thinks that censoring is bad because they also believe that censoring limits people's freedom of speech.
There are some people who make fun of censorship because they think it's overpowering people, and sometimes it doesn't even make sense that they censor some things because people actually know what is being said or what is being meant or shown. One of these examples is Jimmy Kimmel. Weekly Unnecessary Censorship. It's a show where they show that um, certain examples of it and their opinion over it. They think censorship is, like Amber said, having power over speech, and the opposers want to fight for the freedom of speech, which is one of the undeniable rights. We ask ourselves, why not give people all the information? A person can be hurt by the truth. They just only obtain more knowledge and they become more educated than other people who have always been exposed by censorship and they are not led to reach for more information. Like, if they have curiosity about certain things, they will not be able to go and search it because there's this power over them that's telling them not to and won't let them grow as a person and psychologically.
Who made what bad?
How do we classify what is good and what is bad?
Our idea is that different cultures have different ideas of what's good and what's bad. Basically, the intensity level of good and bad. Like we mentioned earlier, China and the Netherlands. China's culture and government is a lot more reserved and more strict, and so that's why their level of good and bad is different from the Netherlands, which the Netherlands is a lot more open and more lenient about censorship.
Now we have also the religion side. If a person is more religious than another one, they will follow their Bible or their sacred book to the point, and if there are certain things, they will not do it. They will not show their kids the stuff that it says they shouldn't. And a person who is agnostic, who maybe follows a religion but does not practice it, will watch rated R movies or things like that that maybe the other person wouldn't think they're appropriate.
Following with the movies, basically we have questions about rated movies and PG-13 movies because a lot of people think that rated R movies are a lot a lot worse than PG-13 movies because rated R movies have like sex and nudity, but PG-13 movies have death, blood, weapons, and explosions and bad stuff as well. And we were wondering why rated R movies are classified as bad, really bad, compared to PG-13 movies.
And to answer that question is because I think people, since most of the people in the world have a religion and they follow it, even if it's not a lot, or they think that maybe intimacy is more sacred and more personal. So therefore, since this has been passed over from a long time, nowadays they censor that because that's what it has always been censored, and it's due to the religion and the type of culture that everyone grew up in. And this does not only apply to censorship. Ethics applies to the to other conflicting issues such as the death penalty.
And a lot of people ask whether the death penalty is right or wrong, like they ask for censorship.
Those who support it they support it mainly because they believe in revenge or consequences. So the person who killed or committed something wrong needs to pay for them. So it's an eye for an eye or tooth for a tooth.
And Those who oppose because they believe that the death penalty makes them no better than the murderer who was given the death penalty. They think that the death penalty will make them murderers as well.
And the death penalty, it's really conflicting because at first, um, all the laws were created based on religion.
They were created based on religion because everything started when the first pilgrims came to America and they had nothing else but religion. They wanted to escape from persecution, religious persecution, and they began to base their laws on religion. And so basically, they based their laws on the Bible, and they said that you should never kill, and that is the foundation for modern conflict and decision revolving around the death penalty. And also, it doesn't happen just in the U.S., it happens all around the world. The confliction and the death penalty issues, everything like that just happens everywhere.
Hello, my name is Bertha Ramirez,
And my name is Amber Sung.
and that was our TOK presentation.
Thank you for watching.